aren't very good at basketball.
Yeah.
Tees, professional athletes who don't make it in the NBA end up finding themselves overseas.
I don't. They get to see the world.
That's a damn good job.
You get paid to see the world.
Like playing basketball in Madrid or
It's like adult study abroad.
And you're rich.
Yeah.
You've got money to do things.
And you have clout.
Yes.
Because those communities care about those teams.
Well, hold on now.
Sometimes.
Do the people in Beirut care about the Beirut fighting orangutans? What are they?
That is not the name of the team.
Okay, they're the Beirut, whatever they are.
They are the Beirut. I'm not sure they have a mascot.
Yeah, so, but listen, if they care, it's great. Even if they don't, you're still in Beirut getting to kick it. I don't even know where Beirut is. I feel like we did some bad things over there one time.
Isn't it in Lebanon?
Listen, I don't know where Lebanon is. So we had this geography conversation.
Yeah, Beirut is
Friday.
in Lebanon.
How close
it's
is
the
Lebanon?
capital of Lebanon. Come on.
I didn't know Lebanon was I thought Lebanon was a city. Where's
Don't
Lebanon?
ask me to find it on a map.
Okay.
Why would you ask me to do that?
I apologize. I thought you had it pulled up on your computer.
I got
That's
it. Hold on.
Because Lebanon's got to be close to some stuff.
It's east of Syria.
Jessica. All right. Oh, so it's
Syria is east of Iraq.
Okay. Well, it's got to be close to someplace cool you can visit.
Lebanon
I'm sure there's all types of cool stuff over there to see.
Right by...
Close to Qatar, right? Qatar looks like a cool place to be.
I don't think it's close to Qatar. I think it shares a border with Israel and Jordan and Syria.
Oh, well.
And the sea. And then Cyprus is out there in the middle.
What was the song?
And then everything else. I didn't play a song. I listened to the episode of The Daily. I'm dog sitting, so I had a longer commute. And The Daily did their episode on the betting scandal and the poker games in
Anything
the NBA.
New?
No.
Okay.
More of the same.
Yeah.
Just listening to news people talk about it instead of sports people talk about it, which is an interesting circle because I think there was a disconnect of just how much sports betting has permeated into the sports space that they were trying to grasp.
Yeah, they have no grasp of what's going on over here.
Exactly. What is up, everybody? It is Monday, October 27th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass coming up on today's show. A weekend full of bounce-back wins in Memphis. Cedric Coward has arrived. Memphis Grizzlies were reminded that he could be pretty darn good. And the Grizzlies reminded everyone that 24 hours can make a big difference between Friday and Saturday night here at FedEx Forum. Memphis Tigers reminded everyone that their goals are very much still on the table after coming back and beating South Florida here over the weekend. It is a big day locally with the Hoops for St. Jude Tipoff Classic tonight in Memphis. In its honor, we will have Memphis women's basketball coach Alex Simmons on the show. We will also have former Memphis Tiger Antonio Anderson. He was on the 2008 Final Four team. A lot of alums in town for John Calipari's return to Memphis. We'll catch up with Anderson. Gary Parrish will join us as he does each and every Monday. It'll be a fun show. It's Monday. You know what we say. Never forget, family.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for? That boy is mine.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details. Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
The countdown to the 2025-2026 Grizzlies season is on, and our 10-game packs are the ticket to your ultimate fan experience. Whether you want to see the big names or just cheer on your team on the weekend, you can save money on a ticket pack that fits you. Choose from 4 different pack varieties or stack multiple packs to make sure you don't miss any marquee matchup or electric atmosphere this season. Visit Grizzlies.com packs to get your ticket pack today.
Jeff Dunham, artificial intelligence, his all-new tour.
Jeff Dunham. You're the other white meat.
How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it.
I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own a day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this feeling. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what's it all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, have it my way. I deserve this feeling. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What is up? What is up? It is a Memphis kind of Monday on this show. Grizzlies, Tigers, St. Jude Tipoff Classic. We will have it all. You know, today is a sports equinox. It's a very special day in the sports world. Sports equinox meaning NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL all playing on the same day. On Saturday, we kind of had a Memphis sports semi-equinox of success. Yeah, we're going with it. Where both the professional team in this city and the collegiate team delivered much needed wins, much needed moments of the day. I say semi-sports equinox because I think for it to be a full, the Tigers basketball program would have to be included in that as well. But the theme of the weekend in Memphis was give us something to believe in. And both the Grizzlies and the Tigers football team met that challenge. Memphis football coming back down 17 to beat 18th ranked South Florida at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. And then the Memphis Grizzlies bounced back from a truly atrocious loss on Friday night. And we will start with the Grizzlies. CJ, you were there Friday. I will say the good thing about a back-to-back in this case is we are sitting here on a Monday. All the yapping yappers are back on the Monday, as opposed to if it had been on the Saturday, or if the only game we had to talk about from the weekend was the Friday, because I had a teacher once tell me you are only as good as your last show. And lucky for the Grizzlies, their last show was great. The show before that, not so much. Friday night was so abysmal that one of our wonderful callers into the double post here on Grind City Media said that we should all be lobotomized. Whoa. And I was like, that's drastic, but not entirely inaccurate. Because that is how it felt. You needed to pull out the Men in Black neuralizer for that game. It did happen. We do have to mention it. The Grizzlies did give up almost 90 points in the first half to the Miami Heat on Friday night. Nearly everyone was bad. CJ, when did you check out? Because you were there. That was your first attended game of the year. How long did you last in Grizzlies Heat Friday night?
Hold on for me real quick. Somebody is in the chat, and they did say something rather thick. So real quick. All right. So I was there the whole time.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, like pay good money. I want to see what's going on there. It wasn't great. It wasn't good. It wasn't average. It wasn't bad. It was terrible.
It was the worst.
Them dudes was awful on Friday.
Was there anything at the end of that game where you were like, I know you don't really search for anything good. We on the Double Post were trying to find any positives from the game to grasp onto. Was there anything that you took from Friday that was good?
Not only Friday, but also Saturday, the entire weekend. The dudes played. Last year, they wouldn't have played.
Oh, okay.
Last year, like Ja and Jaren aren't playing both of those games. And Ja probably, after tweaking his ankle, probably isn't playing either game. They both played. And that shows me that there's a difference in mentality from an organizational standpoint to where, hey, if you say you're good enough to go, then damn it, you're going to go out there and go. And that's the biggest thing I took away from the weekend. We can talk about the ins and outs of what's going on the court, but as long as those two are available and playing, you give yourself a chance and a shot. Now, as far as the particulars on Friday, anything good from that? You tell me. They were down 45 points, right? No, there's nothing good. Because if there was some good, you wouldn't have found yourself down 45 points. It was a foul fest. People were not moving the ball where they needed to move it. Dudes looked lost defensively. The Heat got all the easy shots they wanted. They got all the shots that they wanted to take. If they missed them, they missed them. But they weren't missing them because of Grizzlies' defense. They were missing them because they were just missing them. They were getting these shots into the spots that they wanted to all night long. So, no, there was nothing good about Friday's game, no.
I do agree. Important to note that Ja and Jaren did play in both of those games, and completely with you. Years past, wouldn't have been the case. Wonderful to see. Coming out of the Heat game, I had 3 notes of good things. One was that Ja and Jaren played.
Hold on, wait.
I listed
Ain't no way
3.
in hell you got 3.
Well, actually, the first is the Ja and Jaren pick and roll that we saw for one play and one play only. That was successful at the beginning of the game.
That, yes.
Then I had 2 Javon small passes, and we'll get to Javon later. And then I had the Cedric Coward turnaround fadeaway over Davion Mitchell, which then turned into Cedric Coward had 6. Hold on. Cedric Coward had 16 points off the bench, and we were seeing this incremental Cedric Coward getting better every game, from the preseason to the first 2 games of the season. And then that all led to a Saturday night where we got to see the first Cedric Coward. You cannot give that face this morning. Cedric Coward was the most exciting thing that happened in that building this weekend.
Yeah,
hands down, period, the end.
I just don't understand how you transition from that debacle on Friday.
Because there was something to grasp on. He made 2 threes.
Friday,
he made
any
2
credit
threes.
on what happened on Saturday.
It's him getting better every game. What are you talking about? This is someone who only played 6 games at Washington State last year, and you're seeing now in this very small sample size his ability to get better in real time and then ultimately lead you to his 27-point performance on Saturday night against the Pacers. Like, Cedric Coward is that dude. Cedric Coward played so well on Saturday that he had fans already talking crazy that he could be the best player to ever wear 23 in the history of basketball. Like, that's a wild thing to say about someone who has played 3 games of professional basketball. But what is real is that the best thing that a rookie can actually do for a team in his 3rd game, and I will repeat, it's his 3rd game of his NBA career, but the best thing that a rookie can do for a team is have a fan base and the team thinking, my God, this guy is so good, he could elevate this team's ceiling right now. Right now. That's how well Cedric Coward played. 27 points. He was 6 of 6 from 3, 6 rebounds, 4 assists in 24 minutes, played solid defense, played unselfish. Cedric Coward being that completely speeds this whole thing up. And again, it's 3 games into his NBA career, and you don't want to put the absurd expectations on a rookie, but my God, he can be everything. And you are sitting there with a little smirk on your face, and you don't even want to have some epiphany, because you're a hater of the hating of the most degrees, if you cannot say what Cedric Coward did on Saturday was incredibly inspiring for this Grizzlies team.
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah.
Okay.
What I'm trying to do with you people in the chat, with you as Grizzlies fans, I am Icarus's daddy. Y'all are Icarus. And I'm like, yo, you're getting kind of close to that sun there, kid. Come back a little bit. Because I'd hate to see y'all plummet and pummel to the ground thanks to the force of gravity known as reality. Like, it's a great game. It's a great game. And what he can do defensively is really, really fun. Like, you can use guys like that. You need guys like that. When you look up and you see him guarding dudes at a high level on the perimeter, and when you look up and you see him being able to guard somebody like a Pascal Siakam or somebody like a Obi Toppin down on the block, right? Those bigger types of players. You need that on your roster. He is playing really well the first 3 games of the season. I can understand being excited about what that may mean, but we don't gotta do the hyperbolic nature of these things. Let's let it continue to sort itself out, because what I don't want to happen is everybody puts all of this praise and expectation onto him, and you look up and it's mid-January and he's not living up to that, because then that praise leaves and then he becomes burdened with all of the criticism, the critiques, and the actual hate and vitriol that comes with that. That's the only thing I'm trying to protect from. Yes, it was a great game. Yes, he made 6 threes. Yes, he had 27 points, excuse me. He was the highest scoring player on the court, and he popped off of the screen every time he was on the court. I understand all of that. I just have a good inkling, because it happens to every rookie. The wall will come, and then it'll be, something's wrong with him, something's bad with him, and then we start doing that game.
Okay, or you don't have to do that game, and you can admit that a rookie wall can come while also looking at someone who has a 7-foot wingspan, the ability to guard 1 through 5, and someone who gives you the offensive versatility that is what this team has been looking for. It is not hyperbolic to say that the biggest needle mover for this team, at least this year, is Cedric Coward. He could be the difference between this team fighting and scrapping to get into the playoffs.
You're in trouble if that's the biggest difference. You're in trouble if you're banking on a rookie being the biggest difference.
Perhaps this season isn't at flat nature about going and winning a championship tomorrow. But I'm saying it fastens is not the right word. Quickens, thank you, your journey to being a true contender in the West. Every team that drafts a player hopes that they get someone who does just that. That's the nature of the beast. Like, that's the nature of the game of drafting and developing young talent. And if Cedric Coward's floor is what we saw Saturday, that is a damn good place to start.
Why would that be his floor?
Because he's a rookie and it's his 3rd game of his NBA career.
Why would making 6 threes be a floor for anybody?
I'm talking about it in the totality,
okay.
CJ.
All right.
Come on.
Okay.
Like, this is someone who gives you reason to believe early. And it's more than the scoring. He makes good decisions. He talked about it after the game. Ja talked about it after the game. You had the moment in early where he's on the break and he doesn't pass to Ja. And some people were like, Ja wanted the lob. And Ja said, I didn't really want the lob. I wanted to have it to pass back to him or to
give
make
him
an easy
easier
layup.
shot.
And you saw it in real time of Ja talking to him. And I think the leadership of Ja Morant has been something that has stood out these first 3 games, and we can get more into that based on his comments after games and even coming out of the really, really bad, atrocious loss to the Heat on Friday night, but his in-game coaching, his in-game communication. And you saw Cedric Coward later in that game on a fast break with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, didn't think twice. Passed it, easy layup for KCP, get 2 points on the board, get back on defense. And those are the kind of things from a rookie that him not chasing 30. Do you know how many young players get lost in the sauce in a game like that where you are 6 of 6 from 3 and you know that you're close to a 30 piece and you start trying to force everything? Because he didn't do that. He kept sharing the basketball, playmaking for others, getting back on defense, playing unselfishly. Like, all of those things combine into just a really promising game. I'm not trying to sit here and say Cedric Coward's going to win Rookie of the Year, although I will go back and say that my hot take going into the season was that he would finish top 2 in Rookie of the Year voting. It seems like a good day to remind. But I do think it was just a really great flash. Now, because I was eventually going to get to this, CJ, but then you got me on my toes. The Pacers are dead. Like, this was against a Pacers team that is so injured. And the Grizzlies were able to capitalize on that and treat that as a winnable game at home. And that's an important thing to try to stack those wins early in the season as they keep dealing with these injuries. But God, the Pacers were making a push when Benedict Mathurin got hurt. He was cooking them coming out of half. Mathurin got hurt. They're already without Nembhard, who got hurt in the Thunder game the other night. They're without TJ McConnell. They're obviously without Tyrese Halliburton as he tries to come back from his Achilles injury. They don't really have true point guards. They lost another another one in the midst of that game. Even last night, they lost Obi Toppin to an injury. They are just hurt. So the Grizzlies should have been able to dominate that game, and they did. And it was a good win. They were able to wrap up the homestand with a 2-1 record. They go on the road. They play the Golden State Warriors tonight. One thing on the Cedric Coward train, because I forgot it because I got in a fight with CJ, so I didn't get to it. Everyone's been sharing the net points for rookies, and full transparency, net points early on in a season, there's not a whole lot of minutes to pull from, so they can get real skewy with the stats. But everyone was sharing that Cedric Coward was first amongst rookies in net rating. I went to see where he stacks up in the totality of the NBA. It's Luka with a net of 17.4. It's Aaron Gordon, 16.4. It's Victor Wembanyama, 16.4. And it's Cedric Coward, 16.1. And of those four, he is obviously the only rookie. So week one stats, we're not really going to go all in on week one stats, but a good start for all of that. We will see how it goes in Golden State tonight against a Warriors team. The Grizzlies did not win a single game in California last year. Maybe that can change with this opportunity.
This is going to be fun.
It's at 9:30 p.m.
And typically I don't, but I am. Like, I'm excited to stay up and watch this one. Usually I catch those 9:30 tips when I wake up. But I'm going to stay up and watch this one because, like, I want to see Coward and Kuminga both on the court together. I want to see what that looks like for Coward as we continue to get more info on what he can be in the NBA. The 27 points for a rookie is impressive no matter what. 6 made threes is impressive for anybody no matter what. But okay, you brought it up. The Pacers are a little hobbled. It's still NBA. You still got to go out there and perform. He did that, and he's been doing that 3 games into the season, sure. But I want to see what happens with a player as big and as physical and as athletic as Kuminga on the court, throwing Jimmy Buckets as well. Just an old man, just a wise, veteran, savvy type player. Want to see what happens with Coward and those types of guys on the court. I'm gonna be honest. I would expect he holds himself quite well. I would. Just him as an individual. I would expect him to handle himself quite well tonight against the Warriors. But it's still gonna be very, very fun to watch.
You threw me off my game. I didn't even talk about John Conchar. Oh, those jitty minutes.
Here's the issue with John Conchar.
Okay. You are just... The clouds are out in Memphis, and CJ decided to just come in and piss on everything.
He's done this.
It's not a problem.
He's done this.
Okay.
And he'll
This
do
is the
it.
difference of
He'll
two
do
people.
it. He'll do it. Oh, wait.
Okay. No,
No,
fine.
no,
Go.
fine.
No.
Whatever, go.
No. I view the minutes of John Conchar the other night as a representation of how he has stuck around, how he has earned his money in the NBA, how he continues to get playing time, because when he goes in, he plays defense, he fights for rebounds. He's also capable of catching John Morant's crazy passes, which is something that you have to grow into as an NBA player. I view that as that's the positive of John Conchar. You view that as that's what's wrong with John Conchar. They won. He and Cedric Coward, both of them, the first two off the bench. And it was when they came in the third quarter, when the Pacers got it within 3, that ultimately the Grizzlies were able to hold on and make their big push. Like, they were 2 energy guys. Why is that the problem with John Conchar to you?
He does this. He'll have 2 games like this.
Yeah.
Then the next 2 games, it'll be okay to average. And then he'll hit you with 3 games like, yo, what the hell are you doing, Conchar? Right? And he's got to be this consistently.
I would say he needs to be this when he has the opportunity, and if you're having to use him consistently, you have found yourself in injury hell. Being able to use John Conchar for a game where he comes in and does all the dirty work and just does the stuff is the best version of John Conchar. When you are relying on John Conchar every night, then you are in trouble. That's when you have an issue.
The issue is I need somebody on the perimeter to be good. And if Conchar can do this consistently, I've got one of those dudes on the perimeter solved, right? But he's not this consistently. He's
like your 10th man. He's like your break glass.
I need somebody to not be the 10th man.
Sure.
It's a lot of 10th mans on this roster.
When there's 5 people on the injury report, sometimes you got to go to the 10th man.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Jr. has 3 different designations in 3 games.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I need somebody who there's a cluster of dudes who could be a really good 10th man. I need one of those dudes to be a adequate 7th or 8th, right? Like, that's what I need. And Conchar, for all that he's done positive, he is just a really good 10th man.
Yeah.
I need him to be more than that.
I don't. I just need him to be a good
Okay.
10th man and not need him more in that situation. Before we end on the Grizzlies, we did have some news. Charles Bassey is coming in on the Grizzlies hardship exemption. They were able to add him because they have their 4 players on the injury report: and Ty Jerome, Scottie Pippen Jr., Brandon Clark, and Zach Edey. Although I would add Vince Williams into that group at this point, as he does seem to be dealing with something that's going to keep him out for the foreseeable future. Charles Bassey, big guy. Jacob was reminding us he played at Western Kentucky, absolutely destroyed the Tigers in one of those early Thanksgiving tournaments back in 2020 when he was at WKU. He played with the Celtics for Summer League and was awesome. He has too much experience to be eligible for a 2-way contract, and so he wasn't able to sign a 2-way with anyone. Grizzlies are able to use this hardship exemption on him. Great. It's a big. He can set screens. He can get rebounds. He can protect the paint. Can hopefully finish in the paint, and it just gives them some depth at a much needed position, and especially the rebounds part, because someone's got to get some boards for this team eventually. As it pertains to Vince Williams, started with heel soreness, then it was ankle effusion on Saturday. Now it is ankle impingement last night. So this is your medical lingo update of the week. Impingement is tissue or bone friction, and effusion is excess fluid building up in the joint space. So we'll see what that means ultimately. But Grizzlies Warriors tonight, Suns on Wednesday, and then they're back home against the Lakers on Friday. Icky's news with the Lakers: Luka's out for at least the next week. So it looks like Luka and LeBron will be out for that Friday night Amazon Prime game, 8:30, Halloween here at FedEx Forum. We'll take a break. We'll come back, talk about the Memphis Tigers, who CJ was right. All they had to do was bounce back and get a win, and everything's still on the table for Tigers football. CJ's right all the time. He'll tell you about it after a quick break.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzlies stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
The second annual Hoops for St. Jude Tipoff Classic is on Monday, October 27th at FedEx Forum. Don't miss Memphis women's basketball as they take on the Vanderbilt Commodores, or the long-awaited return of former Memphis head coach John Calipari when his Arkansas Razorbacks face the University of Memphis Tigers in charity exhibitions to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, or you can get them at the FedEx Forum box office.
Grizz Nation, don't foul out on dinner plans. Hit Sticks Express in downtown Memphis instead. Fresh hibachi, steak, shrimp, sushi tacos, and yes, our legendary sake slushy to keep things cool. Order online with code STIX901, STIX901, and knock 10% off your tab. It's the perfect pick and roll for game night. Sticks Express, fast, fresh, always a slam dunk. And hey, come see us at our Collierville location too.
Is it weird that you're going to be like one of the elder statesmen on that team?
The kids think I'm older than I am. They think I'm like 30, and I'm like 24.
So it's humbling. It's not great when you have a kid that just got here and they don't believe when you tell them you're 24. But I guess it helps because maybe they respect you more. I don't know.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Welcome back. Turning the attention to the other big bounce back win from this weekend. Memphis football. We got a modern day version of he missed the kick for new Tigers fans. I always think back to 2019 when I was at Local 24 and Memphis had that game against Tulsa and it all rode on that, and Tulsa had an easy field goal at the end of the game and they missed it, and I ran around the Local 24 newsroom screaming he missed the kick, and I was able to do it again on Saturday when Nico Grammatica missed a chance to tie the game with a 52-yarder off the left upright. Memphis wins. Big upset over South Florida. That kick and that game meant so much because, one, Memphis came back, scored 17 straight points to beat an 18th ranked South Florida team, and it's always nice to upset a top 25 team at home. And two, that missed kick put the Memphis Tigers right back in a spot where they control their own destiny as you watch what would be the game-winning touchdown from Brennan Lewis to Braham, once again making a big catch. You tried to tell us, CJ. You always try to tell us. Sometimes we just don't listen to you. That's on us. That's an us problem. But you sat here last week saying, sure, Memphis lost to UAB. But you know what? All they have to do is go beat South Florida. Step one, go beat South Florida. And they can still get to an American Conference Championship game. They could still thus get to a college football playoff. You win the games in front of you. You still control your own destiny. And Memphis put in the work. They're back in the AP Top 25, went from unranked and no votes last week to right back in there. I saw somebody credit the Memphis brand for giving them the boost back into the Top 25. I was like, hell yeah, it's about time someone recognized the Memphis football brand and put them back in rankings. But ultimately for Memphis, just a massive, massive win to get right back in the mix of being one of the contenders for the American this year.
Yeah, it sucks not having college football game day or being an option for college football game day. Not here to tell you anything different, but that's all you lost in the game that you end up losing against UAB. That's it. If you go out there and win these football games, like you're where you want to be come the end of the season. Now, I don't want to say all you have to do, because you still got Tulane, you still got Navy, you
don't overlook the Rice.
Got Rice and a rematch potentially against USF or Navy or Tulane, or you're playing North Texas, who's really good this year in the American. So it's not easy. It's not all we have to do is. No, you have to come out there and be focused. You can't be what you were against UAB. We know you. That's not going to cut it. So you have to be much better than that. And honestly, you got to be a bit better than what you were against South Florida, because they got lucky and won that game. But like every now and then, you need a ball to bounce your way on your way to achieving a goal. And you got to put yourself in position to be lucky. So don't want to take anything away from the win. It was good to see Lewis out there on the field. He had so much from a run game standpoint and from a just leadership standpoint for that team. Him not being there would have absolutely hurt them some. But he was there. They got the win. So now it's on to the next game. It's no time to celebrate if you're the Memphis Tigers, right? You can't be feeling good right now. You've got to be focused and stay focused, because you were feeling good going into UAB and then caught that ass whooping. So, like, be focused. Mm-hmm. And if you're focused, you'll give yourself a good chance of, winning the American for the first time under Ryan Silverfield and getting to CFP, which will be awesome.
Part of this college football thing is belief and believing that You can do it. And you can believe that Memphis can beat Tulane. You can believe that Memphis can beat Navy because you saw them just come down double digits and beat the only ranked team from the conference in South Florida. You saw them earlier this season come back down 28-10 to beat an SEC team. And I know that Arkansas ultimately finds itself in a position where they're firing their coach and they're having a bad year. But it speaks to the resiliency of this Memphis team. It speaks to the coaching from Ryan Silverfield. And then you nailed it with Brendan Lewis being available, and not just being available, but being awesome, especially in that second half. When he put his whole body out there to get the 2-point conversion, and considering he was questionable to even play, like, that's everything. And he made some big throws. I think it was the most times he's thrown in a game this season. The catch by Braham was awesome, and Braham keeps making these awesome catches. But the one to Jamari Hawkins, that I think it was on 3rd and 10 that set up the DeRosier's touchdown run, the 60-yard pass to Hawkins that put them in field goal range. Between Brendan Lewis in the second half and the Memphis defense deserves a ton of credit for their second half performance as well. You had Sam Brumfield, who was everywhere, 13 tackles. I think it tied his career high. Watching the play, he had the great sack on Byron Brown, and then he also had a play where he just pushed over a 300-pound lineman. There's the sack on Brown, and Brown was excellent in this game. But that entire defensive unit, to give up 21 straight at one point in the first half, to turning it around and holding South Florida to just 7 points on 5 drives in the second half of that game, was a critical turnaround from a Memphis defense that so often we're in a place like, they can't stop anyone. Well, they certainly stopped them in the second half of that game on Saturday.
Just keep it in front of you. Just keep the offense in front of you, man. It sounds so simple and it's easier said than done. But what they ended up doing was they didn't give up the big plays. You know, we saw why am I blanking on South Florida's quarterback?
Byron Brown.
Saw Brown just rumbling down the field.
That
was that 40 yards?
Was 44.
Come on, man.
Almost gets tackled and then ends up hurdling a guy.
He does that. And it's like, oh no, Memphis, you cannot be giving up those types of plays to anybody. Nobody can if you expect to win a football game. What that defense did was they buckled down, bend but don't break. The Cotton Bowl year, everybody references when game day comes here. There are a lot of similarities between that year and this year. Bad loss. Now the lucky misfortunate miss.
Right.
But also the defense that year wasn't good. It was fine. At best, it was fine. They were bend but don't break. They were get all the yards you want inside the 30. We got to lock up and we got the end zone to help us as an additional defender in the back of the end zone. And they didn't give up a whole lot of touchdowns. So if this defense can do that, if this defense can be a bend, don't break type of team, this offense is really good this season. Just keep the ball in front. Don't give up the big yardage plays, the big chunk plays. And that's what South Florida has been known for all season. If you get keep those plays to a minimum against them, you can beat them. But it's hard to keep those plays to a minimum when you got Brown and the rest of those dudes running around making plays like they are known to make plays. Boise State was a better team that first game. And just chunk play after chunk play after chunk play ended up costing Boise. Right? And it happened a couple of times early this season where I was watching South Florida.
The Florida game.
The Florida game, another one, whereas how the hell is South Florida going to win this? But they won it. Give them credit for it. Just minimize South Florida's big plays. Again, easier said than done. But if you can do that, you can get South Florida. And Memphis did that at home. They're a different team at home also under Ryan Silverfield. They are hard to beat under Ryan Silverfield at home no matter who you are. So for them to get the South Florida game at home is huge. I can't remember where the Navy and the Tulane games
Tulane's
are.
at home.
Okay.
Tulane's at home and Navy's at home.
Also,
which is
like,
great.
come on.
But then you have Rice and East Carolina on the road, and
you can't.
What has
lose
also
focus.
been the signature of the Ryan Silverfield era is just losing really weird games.
You can't
like
lose
the
focus
UAB. You can only get one. You can only get one. They did also get lucky. The whole decision from Golish to go for it on 4th down inside the 10, only up 1 score. I understand that the analytics speak for that, but anyone watching the game is like, just take the points. Take the easy field goal in that situation. And then you had the Silverfield going for 2, down 8, and it didn't work, and people were mad. And I get it because my brain is, what is it, left side or right side? That's the creative. Left side? I think so.
I don't know. I don't have that part of my brain.
I think it's the left side.
All right.
What part of the brain do you have? Are you team analytics? Because I don't think of you as an analytic guy.
I don't have that part of my brain
You're
either.
just in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just
some
straight.
odd spot in the middle. You're just a CJ
Right
brain.
down the middle.
You're just a special CJ
That's
brain.
why I'm right.
But anyway, the analytic part of it will tell you to do that. And we saw the Jets won a football game by doing that on Sunday. Like the Jets went for 2 down 8, and it ultimately led to them getting their first win of the season. And if it works, if it's good enough for the Jets,
well, I don't know.
it's good enough for anyone.
We
Like, that's a weird way to. If it can work for the Jets, it can work for anyone. Would be a more appropriate way to frame that.
We don't have a whole lot of time today to talk about
I
all of the
know.
football. I hope that dude is okay though. Justin Fields looks like he is going through it.
That's why when
old boy was crying?
Yes.
Okay.
I
hope he's okay
these
too.
People are people, man. Like I get it. We treat these athletes like gods and like they're not actual human beings and you just say whatever you want. And if you're the owner of the Jets and Woody Johnson, like you're just out here speaking out of your mouth, not thinking about the fact that that's your employee. And 2, that's a person who has to then get up and go play a game on Sunday. And he said he was in his closet on the ground crying. And so it's just like, what do we do? I get it. We talk about sports. It's fun, but they're people.
You don't have to share that part.
What? Justin Fields talked about it.
No, I mean, Justin doesn't have to share that part. Like, we get it. It's hard.
No, you know what? I think he does.
It's hard. Okay.
I really think it's important. And I think that's where, like, you get to a point of, if Justin Fields talks about it in that moment, then perhaps there's not a TV analyst who, when Carson Wentz is so frustrated he's close to tears, maybe someone on TV isn't going out of their way to be like, you know what, he's going to be more of a man in this situation.
More of a leader.
More of a leader. But leadership
Is that
does
synonymous?
not. No, leadership
Okay.
does not have to. 1, it's not synonymous with being a man,
I
and
just
2,
wanted
it's
to make
not
sure.
synonymous with not showing emotion. And reminding people, like, we're all just human beings out here. Anyway, Gary Parrish is going to join us on the other side. We'll talk to him about the Grizzlies, the Tigers, St. Jude Tipoff Classic tonight. Still ahead, Alex Simmons, Memphis women's basketball coach, will join us. Antonio Anderson, former Tiger legend, will join us. Busy show ahead when we come back.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Just walking through FedEx Forum, what's that been like for you?
To be back here knowing that this is going to help St. Jude, it's going to recognize Fred Smith.
Yeah.
Come on now, what he did as an individual. It's going to highlight the city and that what this great place is. There's not many cities like Memphis.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Watching the Grizzlies is easy with FanDuel Sports Network. If you have cable or satellite, you're all set. Find us on your channel lineup. You can also use your TV provider login to watch games on the FanDuel Sports Network app. No cable or satellite? Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network online. You can also watch on Prime Video by adding a FanDuel Sports Network subscription. Not sure where to start? Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to learn more.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Welcome back. It is Monday. That means it's time to catch up with Gary Parrish, host of the Gary Parrish Show, weekday mornings at 10 a.m. on Grind City Media. Gary, happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you.
It's a rainy Monday.
That's true.
But I would call it a happy Monday.
I'm happy.
Happy enough.
Happy enough. I think I'm happy enough.
Let's put it this way. We were given enough sports happiness moments in this city.
Sure.
And there was a fun event tonight with the St. Jude Tipoff Classic where we could say, it was a good Memphis sports weekend.
I think much better than the previous one.
Sure was.
If we were comparing and contrasting.
Hey, much better than the previous one, tied in with the Friday of this week. That's when the Grizzlies
gave
up 86 points in the first half to the Miami Heat.
50,000 points.
Yeah, 50,000 was actually the exact number.
Why would you lose a basketball game by that much?
Why would you do that?
That's a lot of points.
It's quite a few points.
Yeah, but the bounce back. It's not how many times you get knocked down. It's
how you bounce back.
It's how you get up again. It's how you get up. And how do you get up? You get
Never
up.
Gonna bring me down.
You get up and you shoot 6 for 6 from 3 and knock out the reigning Eastern Conference champions. That's how you bounce back.
Well, let's start there because Cedric Coward was awesome.
Yes.
And it is precisely the kind of game that you want to see from the Grizzlies. It happens to come on a night where the vibes could not have been worse in that building on Friday. You're looking for anything to give you some sort of hope, belief that things are going to be okay for this team. And half of the reason you find it is in your rookie going 6 of 6 from 3, putting together a really impressive game. Just how much does things change for this Grizzlies team if Cedric Coward is that version of Cedric Coward this early in the experience?
Okay, I heard you two bickering earlier.
Yeah, we were
I
having
heard
a
you
little,
two going
a
back
tiff.
and forth.
It was just a little tiff.
I heard you guys tifting this
Yeah.
morning. I don't know if you can turn tiff.
Can you tifting?
I don't know if you can tift. I don't know if I'm using that the right way. I think both of you are making fair points. You're just coming at it from different angles.
Correct.
CJ is right. That's not who
Always
he is.
Always is.
That's not who he is, all right? He's not going to shoot 6 for 6
Correct.
from 3. This is something we do in sports all the time.
Yes.
Like we watch a backup quarterback come in and go 23 of 29 for 340 yards and 4 touchdowns. And we go, oh, my God. If that's what he is, then I don't see why you can't win the national championship. Right. And then you have to remind yourself that's not who he is, because if that's who he is, he wouldn't have been the backup quarterback.
Correct.
He would be the number 1 ranked quarterback in the world, just ahead of Patrick Mahomes or whatever. So Cedric Coward is not 19 points on 70% shooting from the field,
Few are.
72% shooting from 3, and 92% shooting from the free throw line. But that is what he's through 3 games. And so I don't think you can look at this and say, well, this is what he is. But you can look at this and go, he's showing signs already that he is a special talent. And that, I think, more than anything else, is what you need to see in this season. Earlier, the better. Because this big bet that the front office has made, it is mostly reliant on him living up to expectations. Yeah, we want Zach Edey to be great, and we want Jalen Wells to continue to develop. But the big bet here was Cedric Coward in time, combined with John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., can take us further than Jaren, Ja, and Desmond were going to take us. That's the bet.
Right.
And there's been enough through 3 games to not in Sharpie write down that you've won the bet, we're on our way.
Right.
But there's enough there to be encouraged, I think reasonably so.
I want to be clear because I think I got as us women tend to do. A little emotional.
You can say that if you want to.
A little emotional.
That's not something I would say.
You know, I'm still getting back in the swing of lack of sleep, blah, 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 blah. The least important thing Cedric Coward did for me on Saturday was make 6 threes.
Right.
That was by far cool.
Sure.
Fun to see. Gets people going. The one that he hit, in the third quarter, coming out right as the Pacers were making their move, he hits the little step back. I was like, oh my God. I mean, me, Bennett, Vernon, Eric Hasseltine, Elliot Perry, we're all looking at each other, eyes wide, thinking that was awesome.
Right.
I'm not going to say I could care less because I would love for Cedric Coward
but
to
that is part of the scouting
make
report.
Open threes, and that is part of it.
He's going to make those shots.
Yes, and that's why in the preseason when he's saying, you know, my shot's going to come. I put too much work into this to stop now. And he always says the right things. He's a very good interview, and we've talked a lot about that going into this. But just him being such a positive on the defensive end, they've been looking for one of those who can make the threes, can be the net positive on the defensive end, can make the right plays, is smart, is learning in real time. When you hear how his veterans, how Ja talks about him, how Jaren talks about him, when you hear how Coach Tomas Isolo talks about him, there's been all this true excitement. And that game on Saturday, I think, for the first time, encapsulated everything that he can be. Yes, the 6 of 6 from 3 is great, but it's more about how he is on the defensive end, how he is as a playmaker, how he is as just a good fit with those pieces like a John Adair.
He just looks the part.
Yes.
He looks the way a lottery pick is supposed to look, particularly one that you drafted for these very specific reasons. He's mature, seemingly beyond his years. Incredible focus and ambition. And it's not just the way his veterans talk about him or the way Tomas talks about him or the way he talks about himself. It's the way quite literally anybody talks about him. Like my colleague at CBS Sports, Matt Norlander, sat down with him pre-draft process and said that's one of the 5 most impressive young basketball players I've ever talked to in my life. Forget the basketball stuff. Then you talk to John Shire. I had a conversation with John, the Duke coach, because as you know, Cedric was on his way to Duke before he decided to remain in the NBA draft. John said, listen, take Cooper Flagg, set him over here. I don't want to start making Cooper Flagg comparisons, but take Cooper Flagg, set him over here. I don't know how you could have lunch with somebody and watch an individual workout and be more impressed than we were after we had lunch with Cedric Coward and watched an individual workout. Like, again, Cooper Flagg over here, but if somebody wanted to argue, I'm thinking maybe taking him second in the draft, that's not crazy. It wasn't crazy to John Shire. It clearly wasn't crazy to the Grizzlies front office. And again, it's just 3 games, but through 3 games, the numbers are undeniable. 2-1 record, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, nearly 2 steals in 22.7 minutes a game while shooting above 70% from the field, 72% from 3, 91% from the free throw line. That's not replicable. That will not hold up. But that's really encouraging.
Imagine if it did.
But what if it did?
But what if it did?
Oh, you sound like a woman getting so excited again.
She just gets so excited about it.
You brought that up, not me. That's not the type of thing I would say.
Never. I also had to find out what Coke butter cheese is in my walk-off interview with John Morant as he's trying to get Cedric's attention, yells Coke butter cheese, and I'm like, I have no idea what was just said.
I'm always about a week behind that stuff.
It's NBA 2K.
Yeah.
Celebration stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I did feel rather old in that moment.
I find myself having to Google over and over, just nonstop, just trying to figure out what people are talking about these days.
Do you Google or do you chat GPT at this point?
I don't really use chat GTP, although I have used it, and it's troubling. It's amazing. It's both amazing and troubling.
1,000%.
Yes. It's both amazing and troubling. I listen to this podcast, not to get off track here, but I listen to this podcast about ChatGTP. And I don't think there's anything unique to this, but it was interesting for me to hear because I haven't dabbled in it much. But like, it is literally designed to make you feel better about yourself. It encourages you in.
It validates.
It validates your thoughts. And so one of the things it was doing, like on a pretty innocent level, you would be like, "Hey, ChatGTP, I want to write have I told you the story before? I want to write a wedding speech. It's I'm the best man in a wedding, and I need a speech, and I want it to be." And they're like, "Okay, cool. What do you want it to be? Serious or loving or funny?" He's like, "I want it to be funny." And then you say, "All right, let's write a funny speech." And then you start trying to write a funny speech with it, and it's like, "Is that funny?" And ChatGTP is like, "Man, you're the funniest. I don't know why you're not hosting SNL." And you just keep feeding this, and then you take it to the wedding and you deliver it. and it just
then no one laughs.
because it's not funny. But this
Right.
thing is designed.
It really doesn't do humor well either.
But it was and then you take it to a dark place, and it can really encourage you to do some
We've had
dark stuff.
a number of cases.
I mean,
where
a
parents
child
have
took his
looked
own
back.
life
Yep.
in constant communication with this thing.
Yep.
So I don't mess with it too much, not because I'm scared of it necessarily, not yet. I just haven't used it too much. But my early impressions of it is that it is both amazing,
Right.
and also troubling.
And very, very troubling
Yes.
indeed. What wasn't troubling was Memphis football
Yes.
bounced back with a big win.
Mhm.
We sat on your show on Friday,
We did.
and you said, I'm ready to jump right back in on being all in on this football team, following them, continue versus if they had lost to South Florida, the inevitable tumbling of attention that would have come with Memphis football. How good does it feel to sit here on Monday and know all this team has to do is win out, and they're in the American Championship game.
The stakes were incredibly high, and they came through. Now, it'll never undo what happened, which was possibly cost you game day, a top 20 ranking, a better position in this conversation. But by beating USF on Saturday, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, you're back in pole position, for lack of a better term. ESPN updated their college football playoff projections immediately after the game, and Memphis is the favorite to represent the group of five. I think it was like at 27%. And some of this is schedule related. You know, they get Navy at home, they get Tulane at home. So they've got to, quote, take care of business, but they are back in position. Like Ryan Silverfield, not every coach in America, in fact, most coaches in America can't say this to their team honestly today, but Ryan can. He's one of the few. He can sit down with his team today and say, guys, here's what we got left on our schedule. We are projected to win every one of these games. We'll be favorites in each one. And if we do that, and then we win the conference championship game, we're going to play in the 12-team college football playoff. It's up to us. We don't need somebody to help us and upset Navy. We don't need somebody to help us and upset Boise. We're leading this thing. If we go do not only what we know we're capable of doing, but what we're expected to do, we will play as the 12th seed in the college football playoff. You want to go play a game at Georgia, play a game at Georgia Tech, all this stuff's on the table. Let's go do it. This is a nice place to be. In fact, in some levels, in some ways, an unprecedented place for the Memphis football program to be. It's never been here before.
I was going to ask ChatGPT who will represent the
See
group
what
of
it
five.
says.
We're not allowed to use ChatGPT on our work computers. I don't know if you know this, but we're able to use Microsoft Copilot.
Oh, okay.
Copilot says, Memphis is the front runner to represent the group of five.
That's
it's not
nice
that
to hear.
difficult, but that's the thing. This is how it will be
Surprised
discussed.
the next thing to say is like, have you considered taking your own life?
Other contenders is still in the mix. If Memphis does not represent the group of five, here are some other options for your life. No, other contenders, Navy, Tulane, and still South Florida. It just shows that the overwhelming ideology of group of five representation rests with the American.
Right.
And at this point, Boise State feels out. There's some outside shot of, I think, San Diego State has put together a nice little resume at this point, but it should likely come down to who wins the American.
That's
and
right.
as of today, Memphis has as much of a chance than they did before losing to UAB. All they have to do is beat Navy and Tulane.
Yeah.
And they have more of a chance because they beat South Florida,
Yes.
obviously. For the third and final exciting times of Memphis sports coming out of this weekend, St. Jude Tipoff Classic. I keep wanting to call it Hoops for St. Jude because it was Hoops for St. Jude for a hot second, but it is the St. Jude Tipoff Classic, and you get the return of John Calipari tonight here in Memphis. From your perspective, just what does this mean? They're going to honor his former players. A lot of the emphasis will be on that 2008 Final Four team. I was not here at that time, but as a lover of college basketball, I know how much that team meant.
Sure.
I've lived here long enough to know how much that team meant. And it feels as if this is really the first time that there will be an opportunity for fans to celebrate that team. And I know, does Derrick Rose come? He wasn't RSVP'd. CDR had an RSVP'd. So it's going to miss some of the big faces, but just the, in totality, understanding of how much that season meant.
Yeah, I on that specifically, I wish they were here.
Yeah.
They're also adults with families and things going
Life.
on. Like I'm confident I have missed things that I probably shouldn't have missed or wish I wouldn't have. I've literally never been to a high school reunion, class reunion, not one.
Me neither.
I've been out of high school for a long time. So I don't blame them or judge them, but if I could snap my fingers and put them in FedEx Forum tonight, I would like for them to be there. What will it mean? I think closure on some level for John and for hopefully Memphis fans who got twisted up for either reasonable or unreasonable reasons when he left here. I'm not interested in relitigating the entire John Calipari experience. All I know is that for 9 years, he and his family called this place home. His youngest son was, those formative years were spent here. His girls, grew up here, went to high school here, have friends here. When John was in studio with me several weeks ago, he mentioned like Ellen's coming to this. She does not go to road games anymore, but she's coming to this game because she wants to come back here and see old friends. I mean, this was their home for 9 years. That's not an insignificant amount of time. And I know people got upset when he left, but he turned down a lot of opportunities to leave well in advance of actually leaving, including the University of Arkansas job once upon a time. And I guess I've been doing this long enough to know that there's nothing I can say that's going to change anybody's feelings. But all I know is as someone who is a lifelong Memphian and who grew up caring about that program and who graduated from that school and who is a former beat writer, that man provided this community with the best years, the best string of years of Tiger basketball that we have ever had and will possibly ever have. Mm-hmm. And that has never been able to be properly applauded and appreciated inside this building. And so that will happen tonight. It's not going to be 18,000 the way I think you would daydream about.
Yeah.
But it should be a significant enough crowd filled with familiar faces, both on the court and in the stands, that I hope it's a sweet night. I'm looking forward to being there, and I hope it's a good memory for everybody who, is going to come down tonight hoping to create one.
We're going to talk to Antonio Anderson.
One of my favorites.
Show. Is there anything you want to know from Antonio Anderson these days?
I think I know
everything
about it.
Okay.
Like,
we'll catch up with him, get some memories.
With these guys, like I've known them since they were literally in high school. Like high school.
Watching James Wiseman start, a very different situation because you watch them from high school to then go to the Final Four, and the James Wiseman case in Memphis is well known at this point. Yeah. But even just seeing him start, which is a testament to the place the Pacers are in injury-wise and everything they're trying to make of it, I was like, dang, I watched you win a state championship with East High School, with Penny Hardaway as your coach at East, and then I watched you both go to the University of Memphis, and we know how that ultimately went. But it was my first moment of, it's been a while.
And it's something about that range of players in that era that I connect with a little more because, like when Antonio came here, I was the beat writer. Yeah. His freshman season, I was his beat writer. I was in the gym with him every day and traveling with him every game. And so I just don't have relationships with players like that anymore because I sit in a television studio mostly as opposed to sit in basketball gyms. But I can just remember, like, as I'm thinking through, so that's 2008. It's perhaps 2012, maybe when John's winning a national championship with Kentucky. I think we're in New Orleans. And, I run into Antonio down there. He was there to support his old coach. And we're just on Bourbon Street, just reminiscing about those times and sharing stories. And that's always my favorite stuff and what I'm looking forward to most tonight. Yeah, it's going to be neat to see all those guys get honored, but I'm just looking forward to seeing, some old familiar faces from way back.
Gary, thanks for joining us. Tip-off St. Jude Classic tonight. St. Jude Tip-off Classic tonight at FedEx Forum. The Memphis men playing Arkansas, the return of John Calipari. The Memphis women with an opportunity to play Vanderbilt in an exhibition game. Memphis women's basketball head coach Alex Simmons is going to join us. After a quick break, we'll catch up with her, plus Antonio Anderson later in the show when we come back.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
Jeff Dunham. You're the other white meat.
How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it.
I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jefftuttum.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Hits you with one leg. Okay. Little boy. Too little.
He might be on our team now. That's nasty
You said you
work.
don't talk crazy.
That's nasty. You went too little.
Oh, we're pausing it. I was talking to you guys.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dome Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dome Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Welcome back. We have the big St. Jude Classic tip-off tonight that will feature the Memphis men's team playing Arkansas, the return of John Calipari, and the Memphis women's team facing off in Vanderbilt in an exhibition game. And in honor of that, we have head coach of the Memphis women's basketball team, Alex Simmons. Coach Simmons.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I feel I saw you beating Penny Hardaway in the Ballin' on Beal game of Tiger, because we don't do horse here in Memphis.
Yep, Tiger.
How has everything been leading up to this season?
You know, we've been extremely busy, between coaching a new team and getting them acclimated to a new system, doing events, for the city, community service for the city. Obviously, players going to class, workouts. So it's been busy, but it's been a very, very positive type of busy.
Let's start with the St. Jude Tip-Off Classic tonight. 2 exhibition games, but obviously it means a ton for this city and just the understanding of what those John Calipari years at Memphis meant for Memphis basketball in its totality and kind of delivering as a hoop city.
Yeah.
What has it been like for you in the lead-up process to all of this as you've seen the various interviews and attention that comes to tonight?
Well, I think this year just has a different feel to it. A lot of it probably coming from the hype between Coach Cal coming back, and they actually practiced after us. And as soon as we got finished with practice, he and I had a minute to chat and everything. And the next thing you know, all his former players are coming back, coming in the gym. They were here for the press conference. And then you have Penny on the men's side who chose to stay home and come back home after his NBA career. I think it just shows how much the city means when you're here, when you're working in it, when you're in the thick of it. The support that we have here, we were just at breakfast a second ago and had a couple of Memphis Tiger fans tell us good job for the game tonight. So there's just a lot of love in this city, but it's love for basketball.
And I feel like as well as anyone, like what it means to play for a legendary coach. And Cal had so much success here at Memphis. She played for Pat Summitt at Tennessee, and she has such a massive position within the sport. What is it about coaches like that just seem to transcend the sport a bit, and it becomes about even more than their accomplishments in the win-loss column?
Well, it is about winning, and those coaches, they don't want to just win, they want to win a championship. but they also want you to have a championship caliber of a lifestyle and life and be a championship type of person. I took the players the other day to listen to Shamika Holtzclaw talk. She was speaking in Germantown, and she and I and Coach Pillow, who we all played for Pat at Tennessee, had dinner. And, I want to create a sisterhood here at Memphis where all the former players, they know the current players know the former players. 'Cause I think, it's a sign of respect, but that also creates that environment of family and a longevity of success.
For you guys this year, for this team, last year was tough. A lot of injuries. Now you come into this season with a lot of new faces. How many new faces total?
2 freshmen and 8 transfers and 2 returners.
It's a lot. How has it been all starting to mesh together and trying to establish what your guys' identity will be this year?
Well, it helped that I knew a lot of the players that we brought in, whether it be from recruiting them before. I've known some of them since they were little girls. But I think that's where, when you know somebody, when you trust somebody, we had to be very specific on who we brought into our program. We knew what we didn't want. We knew what we wanted. We knew the type of players and the type of people we wanted, and we knew what we didn't want. And so, it was a very strategic way of putting together a team, but I think we accomplished what we wanted to do.
What have you learned about them leading up? Your season opener is November 3rd. This will be an exhibition game, so you'll have an opportunity to see how they face off against other talent. But what have you kind of learned about this group?
They're very, they have great personalities. They're very focused on winning. From day one, it's been about winning the championship, and that's really been it. We have 3 captains, 3 leaders on our team that were chosen through their teammates. So I think they respect each other at a high level. And it's not fake. Everything is just genuine. They know the end goal is to win, and they know to get there, you got to put work in. And there's not a practice that somebody's not working out, in the morning before, in the afternoon after, together, individual. So it's been a breath of fresh air this year.
Who are those 3 captains for you?
Jordan Hunter, Deja Richmond, and Bailey Gilmore.
And what was it about those 3 that put them in the position where you wanted to lean a little bit more on their leadership?
Well, it wasn't me. It was their teammates who, chose that. I think 2 of them, Jordan and Deja, they're point guards. And I think that automatically kind of puts you in a leadership role. And it's a matter of, do people actually want to lead and follow you? And so I think that's a lot with them. And then Bailey, she's a returner. She put in work from the beginning this summer. She's very well known on campus. She carries herself with dignity and pride, and she holds everybody around her accountable.
I heard that you guys have a group chat, and it's called Confetti Chasing. And like you just said, they want to win a championship, and if you win a championship, confetti often comes with that. What was kind of the origin of that, and how has it led to further connectivity with this group?
Yeah, when we got, I think our last player that we added was Brooklyn Charlo, and she, once she was added to that group chat, I asked, I think all of us have 20 group chats, so you have to name it something so you know which one is which. And I said, okay, what are we naming it? And Jordan Hunter came up with Confetti Chase. I think there was like Ring Chase, and there was a whole bunch of options, and then she chose Confetti Chase. And so we made the picture of that chat. It's literally confetti coming down from the ground.
Perfect.
Coach, I don't know if you've seen this, but in the NBA, some of the team's coaching staffs are taking on media members. Would you guys be interested in doing a media versus your coaching staff basketball game?
I don't know if you've seen my staff, but I'm not sure you want that.
Coach, oh, wait. Time out. Let me be clear.
Definitely do not want it.
I'm not playing. You're right. I'm not going to play in that damn game. No.
Every time someone brings this up, I'm like, I will bring the Capri Suns.
Right. I think you got hurt playing basketball.
I sure did.
So let's not
I'm
go
out.
there again.
I'm retired.
But short answer, yes, we would definitely do that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you would win.
We would definitely win.
You made some changes to your coaching staff this year, right? Who are the new faces there?
So I brought in Shalon Pillow, who, like I said earlier, she is a former Lady Vol, played at Tennessee for Pat. She's our chief of staff. Assistant coaches, I'm familiar. Coach Garner, he worked with me at my last school for 4 years. So I brought him back on our staff, and Coach Bond Reed. He was at Syracuse. He's been a long time college coach, WNBA coach. He was at Syracuse when they went to the Final Four, been at University of Kentucky, most recently at the University of Houston.
This is your third year.
Yep.
It's crazy. Time flies.
Yep.
What's the biggest difference in how you're approaching this year versus maybe the past two, just in terms of what you've learned that has allowed to put yourself in a different space going into this year?
I think anybody knows that when you first go to a school, like those first couple of years, is a lot of plug-in, plan, negating, trying to figure things out. But this year, I just feel like there's not as many questions. Anybody that I've spoken to, I've always said that, like, I feel like myself now coaching, just because I'm not having to worry about certain things. My coaching staff does a great job of just taking care of things, coaching, getting workouts in with our players. So I'm not having to worry about the things that I had to worry about last year. And I just feel like I'm back to the old Coach Alex.
Who are the people that you go to for advice? It's an industry that requires a lot of communication and trying to take things from here and there, but who are kind of those people for you?
The beautiful thing about our business is that every coach is an open book. So, I've had to call Dawn for something. Coach Joni Taylor at Texas A&M. When we see each other on the road, it's very easy to bounce things off. And even Samika Randall, she's the head coach at Winthrop. She and I talk often. So I have some coaches who aren't in it anymore. I think those are probably the best ones because, they're kind of non-biased now. But our business is very, very good about everybody answers the phone.
Dawn is always an open book. I feel like I should Coach Staley. There's a grandness to her. And even when she talks about non-college basketball related things, for instance, this offseason, she interviewed for a job with the Knicks. She said she had a relationship with the ownership group, felt like she needed to, but then ultimately kind of talked about why it might not be in a woman's best interest to, not in a best interest, but the challenges that would come to being the first women head coach in the NBA. And I think in connection with that, there's been this kind of like reinvigoration of the men's game doesn't have to be the goal for a women's coach. You can now have the goal of being a WNBA coach. And even someone like, we had former Grizzlies assistant Sonia Rahman, who was just hired as the new coach of the Seattle Storm. She was an assistant here. She went and was an assistant for the Liberty. Now with the Storm, you have someone like a Becky Hammon, who has made herself very comfortable and very successful with the Las Vegas Aces. I guess just how do you view the continued changing of the women's game having its own place, and it doesn't always have to be attached to the men's game and some different, bigger goal there? Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with just, leadership and allowing us to have our own lane type of thing. But I do think, for us as coaches, I don't think a lot of people realize that this is our job. A banker, he's a banker, a lawyer is a lawyer, so that's their job, but they also have somewhere else that they want to go. Not all coaches want to stay where they are, and some coaches want to experience new things or get into some other fields. I was talking to a lady last night. She went from being, a financial advisor to a lawyer, and now somehow, some way, she's a doctor. And I think it's the same. It's kind of the same thing with coaches. Every now and then, we want to experience new things at different levels, and whether it be men or women on different sides. You always have the best nails. What nails do we have going into the season? You know what? I'm a little mad because yesterday I broke one. It's really bad, so I can't show you. I hate when that happens. But yeah, it's nothing crazy today. Okay, but I was looking at your nails, and then I saw your bracelets. Is what? Oh yeah. Took my attention. What do they say going into this year? So one of them says, apply pressure, and then we have I like Elphaba. And so hell yeah, we got a little ode to Elphaba right here. And then the other one is just the M for Memphis. Yeah. Beautiful. We made these with the St. Jude patients. Are you excited for Wicked Part 2? I am. I'm waiting. I've seen all the TikTok rundowns and videos. And what is it about Elphaba that makes you a fan? So in her infamous song, she essentially says, if I got to do something by myself, at least I'm doing it how I want to do it. So I feel like
I told Shalon the other day, I feel like I'm in my alphabet era where if we got to do it on our own, it is what it is. That's what's going to happen.
And nothing's going to hold you down.
And nothing can hold us
Bring
down.
me down.
Yep.
Defy gravity,
Yep.
Coach Simmons. Look
Yep.
forward to tonight. Look forward to this season. Thank you so much for taking time this morning. I know it's been a busy lead up to everything going on, but we can't wait to see how the team looks this year.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We will take a quick break. We will come back. Antonio Anderson, former Memphis Tiger, was on the Memphis Tigers Final Four team. He was supposed to be in town for tonight's St. Jude Tipoff Classic. He had something come up, but he still was kind enough to join us on the show this morning. We'll catch up with him on some Memphis memories, what it means to see Coach Cal back in Memphis after a quick break.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
The second annual Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic is on Monday, October 27th at FedEx Forum. Don't miss Memphis women's basketball as they take on the Vanderbilt Commodores, or the long-awaited return of former Memphis head coach John Calipari when his Arkansas Razorbacks face the University of Memphis Tigers in charity exhibitions to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, or you can get them at the FedEx Forum box office.
Grizz Nation, don't foul out on dinner plans. Hit Sticks Express in downtown Memphis instead. Fresh hibachi, steak, shrimp, sushi tacos, and yes, our legendary sake slushy to keep things cool. Order online with code STIX901, STIX901, and knock 10% off your tab. It's the perfect pick and roll for game night. Sticks Express, fast, fresh, always a slam dunk. And hey, come see us at our Collierville location too.
Is it weird that you're going to be like one of the elder statesmen on that team?
The kids think I'm older than I am. They think I'm like 30, and I'm like 24. So it's humbling. It's not great when you have a kid that just got here and they don't believe when you tell them you're 24. But I guess it helps because maybe they respect you more. I don't know.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Welcome back as we continue to get everyone all ready for tonight's big St. Jude Tip-Off Classic event at FedEx Forum and the return of John Calipari as his Arkansas team faces off against the University of Memphis men's team in an exhibition game. We are so lucky to be joined by Antonio Anderson, who played for Coach Cal, was on the Memphis Final Four team back in 2008. He was supposed to be in town for tonight's event. Last minute wasn't able to come, but still kind enough to join us this morning. Antonio, how's it going?
I'm going well. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Sorry you weren't able to come to town. Things come up. But I think it's so indicative that you were one of over 30 players who were originally scheduled to be in town for this event, a chance to honor those Calipari-coached Memphis teams, including yours, that went to the Final Four. Just what do you think it means to have this opportunity tonight to see that team and others honored?
Huge. For not just, my teammates and former players or coaches, but for the city. I know how important Tiger basketball is to the city of Memphis. So a lot of the fans' favorite guys who they might have loved from back then are in town. Coach and Lanita, his assistant, they've been, texting all of us for months now trying to get everything coordinated. So it's awesome for the city of Memphis. I think a lot of people should show up tonight and go see some of the guys, enjoy the game, but also get to see some of their favorite players from the past.
What's your favorite memory from that time period for you?
In all honesty, I wouldn't even say a game. We had a lot of great games, but I think just the excitement, we were, leaving games, the excitement on Beale Street, how packed it was, nothing negative going on, just a lot of fans enjoying great basketball and having a good time. So every time we went places, the excitement that the people in the city showed us at restaurants or just walking up and down the street. So I think that was my probably biggest excitement from my experience there for sure.
Yeah, I was talking to someone this weekend, and he was so excited for this event tonight because it represents like some of his favorite sports memories of his life was that team that you were on, and just the happiest of sports fandom moments in this city. What's it like knowing that you were part of arguably the best team, or at least one of the best teams that this city has ever seen?
Oh, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. I credit that to Coach Cal and Coach DK and Barbie and all those guys who recruited all of us to come there. And then when we got there, everybody embraced us. That city, if you're a hard worker, that city is going to love you. They don't really do the prima donna stuff. So it was a great, great experience. And just to be able to be a part of that and still be talked about with my teammates means so much because, we poured a lot of our energy into wearing that uniform and to see how much love and reciprocation we still get back to it 20 years ago. Says a lot.
What's your favorite Coach Cal memory?
Woo! Oh man, there's a lot, but I'll probably say, just honestly, Coach is just so he's all about his players. I think the biggest thing that we took from it, and we all joke about it now, is like every Sunday was our day off, and we really never had a day off. Every Sunday we had to go to Coach's house. And he lived right across the street from campus, so he would always make us. It was mandatory. We go there, we ate lunch together. Miss Cal made brownies and cookies, and we watched football or basketball. And we hated it back then, but looking back now, like how much camaraderie we had on the court, like that was a huge part of it. So I think that was my favorite Coach Cal moment outside of the yelling and screaming he did.
Yeah, we know Cal does a bit of yelling and screaming during games and in practices. Is there a practice or a moment at practice that stands out where all of y'all at the end of practice like, yo, what did we can't be doing that, man. We got to do something else. We got to pick it up.
Honestly, it may sound crazy, but no. We were so driven. My class, when we came in, that 05 class, a lot of us came from prep school. We won a national championship in prep school. Coach Cal, Darius, Joey, guys just came off of the NIT. So we were so locked in, and proving that we wanted to kind of show the city we were better than what they were last year and things of that nature. So I think, we were so competitive amongst one another in practice that Coach really never had to say, But I think a crazy practice moment for us, every year Coach would invite our families and stuff down to watch us practice, and he's cursing like crazy at us in practice, and he's telling our parents like, "Don't worry, I talk the same way when you're not here." So like my mom, my mom is like, "Well, what?" Like he really talks to you like I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, this is like an everyday thing," But our parents loved it. Coach, always made sure, it was a family. I think that was the most important part for us. So we felt so good and comfortable just giving him our all every single day. So we really never had come on guys, pick it up. But we had just we always felt like we were one of the better teams in the country year in and year out, regardless of the outcome. So I think that was a huge part of Coach's motivation to us.
One of your most memorable moments, of which there were many over your career, but those free throws that you made against Texas A&M that got you guys to the Elite Eight. I think you'd been 1 of 4 at the line going into those 2, and you needed the 2. When you think back on that game, what do you think of most?
And honestly, I say to I honestly said to myself, like, yeah, I had a bad day at the line, bad year, honestly, at the line. And I'm like, you know what? If I miss these free throws, I'm going to get crucified. Back home in my hometown and in Memphis, like, I'm tougher than this, right? Let me just go here. And, that's every kid's dream, to try to win a game for their team in any sport. And I was able to have that, that moment come about for me and was able to seize it. So, but it definitely wasn't an easy one. That's for sure. After I made the first one, I knew I was making the second one. The first one was the toughest one.
One of the other dreams for every college basketball player is to go to a Final Four, which is something that your team did. And I know it ended in not the way that anyone wanted, and also how it's been remembered, I guess, and everything that's come with it. I think that's one of the things that makes tonight so special is it's really the first opportunity for this city and team and school and coach and the players to come back together and celebrate what you guys accomplished. How have you kind of weighed all of that as you've gotten older and further away from it happening, but when you reflect on just what it meant?
Man, it's huge because you think about, so many Division I teams and only 64 back then get a shot to play for that title, and we were one of them. We were one of the 2 finalists, regardless of the outcome. I know we could say, we should have won this time and third. We lost, right? Unfortunately. But I look back, man, it's like so surreal. Like you again, as a kid, you watch that game growing up and you get to play in it. And then every year we were one of the teams always talked about to be able to play for that trophy. Didn't get there the other 3 years, but got there that once and fell short. But looking back at now, it's like you see so many people, and I know so many guys who play Division I who never even got that chance to compete, never got that chance to really like get to a Final Four and experience the festivities that come with that, and the excitement that the city had, let alone, what we did nationally. So I think, looking back, it's had a great career, great experience in which anybody that plays at University of Memphis can actually get to experience that, because it's definitely something special.
How much do you stay in touch with your former teammates?
All of them. We're super, super close. We're in group chats together. We still talk trash, like we're 19, 20 years old again. So I still talk to all of them. Someone was texting me and FaceTiming me yesterday from the practices. Sometimes I couldn't make it, but, Coach Cal was cracking jokes, talking trash about all of us. So we're super, super tight. We're like, that wasn't just a team. We were like family, and we still remain that to this day.
A lot of programs, the really good programs, the elite ones, have a sort of brotherhood, camaraderie type thing where the players playing currently know the players who've come through and played in years past. How involved have you been in that team, been with Coach Penny Hardaway in this iteration of the Memphis Tigers?
Oh, it's been good, man. Penny's like a big brother to me, like a mentor to me. Since I played there, he always took me under his wing.
That goes that generation thing, right? Penny played here.
Absolutely.
You're coming through and reaching back. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. He's always about any of us. We come to town. He had me talk to his team several times when I've been in town. I came to practices and stuff like that. So he tries to keep that going. I think it's tougher now. A lot of us don't live in Memphis. A great amount of the guys either, they all of them got married to someone we went to school with or something like that. So they still live in town. But like, myself, Derek, and you got Chris Douglas, Roberts, and a few of us, and Joey Dorsey, we don't live in Memphis. But the others, a lot of them are either live there or are very, very close. But yeah, man, we love that program. Again, I'm so happy Coach Cal is in town. But I would never root for anybody outside of Memphis. I support Coach. But if you're not wearing that Memphis jersey, I'm not a fan.
I read an interview that you did where you said, I support Coach Cal. I never cheered for Kentucky. I'll never cheer for Arkansas, but I'll always cheer for Coach Cal, which I think is a very typical experience for someone who played for a coach and had an experience with a team that meant so much. It's that team and that person. But that doesn't mean you got to root for the future teams that they coach, but you'll always want the best for him.
Oh, yeah, always got his back. Always going to show so much love for him. Like, tonight is the only time I won't be rooting for him.
Yeah.
Even though it's exhibition, I want him to lose.
Like you said, you're not in Memphis. You're in New York. You're the director of basketball operations and the head basketball coach at a prep school, Darrow Hoops. Just what have you been up to? What led you to that job and that opportunity, and how long have you been there?
Oh, this is my third year here. I was coaching. I've been a head coach for 9 years now in high school. I coached at my former high school in my hometown in Lynn, Massachusetts for a while. Did pretty well. Won some state championships and things like that. And then got this prep opportunity where it's more like a national thing. And my first year, I went into a rebuilding, which was a challenge for me. And then last year we did really well. We finished 7th in the country. And then, this year we are in the preseason, we're ranked 8th in the country. Our first game is on the East. So I'm loving it. I love the challenges of recruiting and the whole, competing and that type of stuff. It still brings the player out in me. But I'm enjoying it. I'm an East Coast guy, so this is nothing to me. But I still watch Penny and I watch Cal. Watch things and try to pick their brains a bit about the coaching stuff. But I'm loving it. I love coaching. I love helping these young kids get to the Division I level, Division II level, wherever it is they may suit. So that's what I live for, and I'm enjoying it.
What's your personality as a coach? You say you talk to other coaches. How would you describe yourself?
My players would tell people I'm crazy. I call it passionate. But I think I'm a player's coach, just like I play for Coach Cal. I'm a player's coach. Took a lot from him and learned how how he got us to believe in him and what, it's about the team. And when your team is successful, the individual things come about. And we've been able to do that the last year or so. I think as long as our guys continue to play for each other and not for what they're trying to get, they'll end up getting what they want anyway. So I think that's my message to my team on a daily basis. It's about us and, do right by one another, and whatever things that you're trying to reach, you'll get there.
One person's crazy is another person's passionate. So I feel that. That's always a thing. Okay, I have one more game I have to ask you about, because when I told people that we were chatting today, they're like, God, can you ask them about that UAB game? All these years later, people still think about that UAB game. It's gained a fair amount of legend and lore. There's the chaos at the end with the guy in the orange overalls and everything that transpires. But when you think back on that game, how do you tell people the story of Memphis UAB that year?
They always, they beat us our freshman year, my freshman year. And they always gave us a game. They wanted to beat us so bad. And, that game, they had us on the ropes. We're undefeated. They had us on the ropes. And, we literally, figure a way to win. Chris plays well. I made some shots. Derek made some plays. But, after the game, the fans are pulling beer on people and throwing stuff at people. And I think one of my teammates smacked somebody or something like that. It was just super chaotic.
Pierre,
I think I think they were just more heartbroken that their dream slipped away. That was their tournament opportunity, and they didn't get a chance to get into the tournament because of that. So we made them pay for it when they came to Memphis and in the conference tournament. We beat them pretty bad. So that was and our fans literally just laughed at them, which was a good thing.
Everyone wants to be the team that beats the team chasing the undefeated season. It always just adds a little extra oomph to it all. Well, Antonio, we wish that you were able to be in town, but we're so grateful that you took the time to reflect on some Memphis memories this morning. Congrats on all your success, and we'll definitely have to have you on again sometime.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me. Have a good one.
Thanks so much. That was Antonio Anderson, former Memphis Tiger. You will see the return of John Calipari tonight at FedEx Forum. Be sure, if you are looking for something to do, you go to the St. Jude Tipoff Classic tonight. Right here in this building, you get Memphis Vanderbilt, women's basketball facing off, then you get Memphis Arkansas in an exhibition game. Both are exhibition games, and you will have the honoring of John Calipari and those Tigers coach teams. We will have Will Coleman on the show tomorrow. He's going to be there tonight, I believe, and we'll chat with him about all of that. Also going into this Memphis basketball season, first opportunity to see this year's team. A lot happened in the sports world over the weekend. I know we had a lot of Memphis stuff to talk about today, but as the week continues, we'll, I'm sure, get into the Brian Kelly firing at LSU. Another millions upon millions dollar buyout occurs in college football. Some more NFL games tonight. We'll get into all that tomorrow. And it's a Grizzlies game day. Grizzlies Warriors tonight. We will see if they can have their first win streak of the season, put back-to-back wins together. That game tips off at 9 o'clock Central Time, which is better than the 9:30 that I thought it was at. So 9 o'clock Central Time. We'll be back in the morning to talk about it all. Hopefully do some game-winning highlights. Have a great rest of your Monday. Bye.